Hey, friends! What I have for you this time is part of a genre called Ozploitation. Low-budget exploitation movies, usually action or crime pictures, made in Australia. The best example of Ozploitation would be the Mad Max series. So, this time we're talking about Dead End Drive-In from 1986, a film based on a short story by author Peter Carey. Our story goes like this. The movie takes place in a near-future world about a decade from when the picture was made, where everything has gone wrong. There's another Wall Street crash like the one from 1929. There's an accidental nuclear blast which poisons the Pacific fisheries. There's massive unemployment and inflation. The law has little meaning and society in general has decayed into chaos. Young people are roaming the streets and the streets aren't safe, and something has to be done. Our hero Jimmy is a fitness nut, always jogging and working out. His brother works as a tow truck driver who specializes in salvage rights. This is a highly competitive occupation, as cars have valuable parts that can be recycled. Violence is the order of the day, as roving gangs of car boys try to steal whatever they can. Jimmy wants to join his brother, but his brother says no. Jimmy's too small and too naive for the business. Jimmy has the hots for Carmen, a sexy chick in the neighborhood who has run away from home. One night, Jimmy borrows his brother's mint 1956 Chevy and takes Carmen out to see a movie at a drive-in. Thinking he's being clever, he tells Thompson, the manager, that he's unemployed in order to get the cheaper ticket price, which proves to be his undoing. While having hot makeouts with Carmen, as you do at the drive-in, someone steals 2 tires off of his car. And who did this? Why, the police, of course. Turns out that the Star Drive-In is really a sort of concentration camp for the unemployed. Thompson tells our hero that they're now part of a mini society of sorts. The government provides food stamps and vouchers so the residents can eat at the diner and watch movies for free, and Thompson can even supply dope if the kids want it. But they can never leave. Not until the government decides what to do with the inmates, who appear to be almost exclusively comprised of disaffected youth. In fact, Thompson and perhaps 1 or 2 of the cops are the only older people we see. All of the inmates of this drive-in are younger. Jimmy wants to escape, but Carmen seems to enjoy living in this mini society. Yes, maybe it's not all bad. Is there a way out of the dead-end drive-in? Can Jimmy escape to freedom? Well, set in the future, there are few, if any, nods to a future world. Both technology and the vehicles are all pretty standard, except for the police vehicles. And there's a chick wearing a bra with flashing lights on it. Outside of that, the fashions are decidedly 1980s punk or mod. There are 3 main characters here. Jimmy was played by Ned Manning, who worked mostly in television down under. Natalie McCurry plays Carmen, Jimmy's sexy chick. Among other things, she was Miss Australia in 1989, and rightfully so. Dead End Drive-In was her first movie credit. Most of her work was in Australia, but she did appear in an episode of Time Tracks and the Flipper reboot in the mid-1990s. Sadly, she passed away way too young in 2014. Peter Whitford plays the manager of the drive-in, Thompson. A long-time character actor in Australian film, you may have spotted him in Strictly Ballroom from 1992, or as the stage manager in 2001's Moulin Rouge. So, Dead End Drive-In is kind of a combination of things. It's part Mad Max, it's part Max Headroom, it's part Escape from New York, and it's part Soylent Green. You've got yourself this here dystopian world where everything is going to crap, and people are still able to maintain some semblance of normality amid the chaos, but a lot of that may just be people whistling past the graveyard. Even if our hero escapes from the drive-in, what's he going back to? It's still a crappy world out there. In the end, nothing has really been resolved on that score. The car boys will still attack people and property. There'll still be violence, vandalism, theft, and cops who don't care. The environment, the economy, and this society in general will still be messed up. Kinda like rollerball, where even if the guy wins the big rollerball match, the world he inhabits is still gonna be crappy. And what about these nearby houses? Are these people not aware of what's going on at the drive-in? Do they care? Or are these homes all abandoned? It's hard to say, but it raises questions either way. We know there are other similar camps, but what's going on with them? A planned sequel that might have gone into some of this never happened since the movie was not a commercial success. But this is not just a straight-up action movie. It's partly a satire, partly a dark comedy, and the movie sort of comes in two halves. The first half sets up this world, and the second all takes place in the drive-in. There are a few fight scenes that put our hero in peril, but the real action doesn't happen until the last quarter or so of the picture, and this is what really makes this movie well worth the price of admission. The movie shifts to a serious tone, choices are made, and both car chases and violence escalate into an all-out smash-up, shoot-'em-up you won't want to miss. Dead End Drive-In is interesting in a lot of ways. Well, not exactly a coming-of-age movie. Jimmy has some toughening up to do, which he does over the course of the picture. The 1956 Chevy he has is a metaphor for where his character is in life. As the car suffers more and more indignities the longer it's in the drive-in, it reflects how Jimmy is changing to deal with the situation. There are big questions raised in this clever, dark satire of modern society as it faces disorder and chaos. People just stop caring. While the world goes mad, we see how the poor, the unemployed, and disaffected youth are treated by policymakers who just don't care. Even the us versus them brand of intolerance rears its ugly head in this microcosm, reflecting the society in the world outside of the drive-in. And yet, the movie is still kind of fun. It isn't heavy-handed, it's not preachy, and it moves along, never overstaying its welcome at any one moment. And as I say, the last 15 minutes or so are amazing. It also has a great 80s soundtrack, so it's 2 3/4 pause from me for Dead End Drive-In. If you've never seen this one, it's time to change that. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.